Radhe Radhe students, today we are going to learn Newton's third law of motion, and in previous lecture we have already studied Newton's first, second, third law and about forces, right? So in this video lecture we will complete Newton's third law of motion and we will solve some numericals based on Newton's first, second and third law. So let's start with that. For every action force there is an equal and opposite reaction force, and action reaction forces acts between two different objects, not on the same object, right? And both will act in opposite direction. So let's try to understand this third law with some examples. Here a box is placed on a table which is kept on a ground. So this box will experience two forces, one mg due to gravity, acceleration due to gravity g, and another normal reaction due to this table. Can we say these two forces action reaction pair? No, we can't say these two forces action reaction pair, because this mg force is exerted by ground and normal reaction is exerted by this table, but action reaction forces are interaction between two objects. So if n is reaction on this block, then its action should be on this table, not on that ground. So for this normal reaction, action force is acting on this table which is exerted by this box, right? Example, in this example, if you try to push this object, if you try to apply force from this side, then all these three blocks will moving together. So I have applied force on m1 only, but why this m2 and m3 all objects starts moving? Because m1 will exert force on m2 and this m2 will exert force on m3. So if this m1 exert force, so if m1 exert force on m2, then is m2 will also exert force on m1, and these two forces will be action reaction pair. Similarly, m2 will exert forces on m2 will exert force on m3 in rightward direction, and m3 will exert force on m2 in leftward direction, and these two forces will be action reaction pair. Okay, so I hope you understood Newton's third law of motion. Let's try to solve some numerical. So here first numerical is based on Newton's third law of motion. In this numerical, two blocks are given having masses m1 and m2, and you have to apply force from this side F, and you have to find reaction force between, and you have to find action reaction forces between m1 and m2, right? So to find action reaction forces, similarly m2 will exert force on m3 in rightward direction, and m3 will exert force on m2 in leftward direction, and these two forces will be action reaction pair. Okay, so I hope you understood Newton's third law of motion. Let's try. So here first numerical is based on Newton's third law of motion. In this numerical, two blocks are given having masses m1 and m2, and you have to apply force from this side F, and you have to find action reaction forces between m1 and m2, right? So to find action reaction forces, let's say action reaction forces are r. Let's say value of action reaction forces acting between m1 and m2 is r. So r1 force is exerted on m2 due to m1, and same force will exerted by m2 on m1 in opposite direction, right? So first of all, we will try to find their common acceleration. So common acceleration is net force upon total mass. Total mass is m1 plus m2, right? So now you have to write, now you have to draw free body diagram of m2. So if you draw free body diagram for m2, then you can see here clearly that only force acting on m2 is r, which is exerted by m1 r, and no other forces are acting on m2. So if you write Newton's second law for this, r, total force equal to mass into acceleration. So mass is m2 and acceleration is common acceleration, which is equal to F upon m1 plus m2. So you can see here clearly reaction forces between So you can see here contact forces acting between M1 and M2 is M2F by M1 plus M2. Two blocks 2M and M are given, and in two different cases. In first case, you have to apply force from this side F, and in second case, you have to apply force from opposite side, this side, on M block, and in contact forces acting between them, right? So let's try to find. Suppose in case 1, we have applied force from left side, right? From left side, okay? So here net acceleration will be equal to total force F upon total mass 3m. So this is net acceleration. And if you try to draw free body diagram of this block M, then you will get only forces acting on M is contact force. So this R equal to mass of this block into acceleration, which is common acceleration, M by 3m, right? So in first case, we are getting R1 equal to mf by 3m. Let's try to find contact forces acting between them in second case. So in second case, we have to apply force from this side. So in this case, we will get acceleration equal to F upon total force upon total mass, 2m plus m, 3m, total mass is 3m. And if you try to draw free body diagram of 2m, then only forces acting on 2m is reaction force. So according to Newton's second law, total force acting equal to mass into acceleration, mass is 2m, and total acceleration is F by 3m. So if you compare these two forces, contact forces, then in first case, this force is mf by 3m, and in second case, 2mf by 3m. So in this time, forces, so in second case, contact force is 2 times of force acting in first case. So if you try to find a ratio of these two contact forces, then you will get 1:2. So right option. So if you try to find a ratio of these two forces, you will get 1:2. R1 is to R is 1:2. So second option, in second option, it is given that ratio of these two forces is 1:2. Here another example of action-reaction pair are given. These forces are action-reaction pair or not. So if you drop any object from some height, then this object will start falling towards the ground. Can we say that force exerted by Earth on this block, which is dropped from some height, is equal to force exerted on the Earth due to this block? Yes, these forces are going to be equal. But why Earth is not moving towards this block and this block is moving? Because this force is not sufficient to move this Earth towards this block, but this force is sufficient to move this block towards the Earth, right? So these two forces are equal. So if you drop any object from some height, then force exerted by this pen on Earth is equal to force exerted by Earth on this pen. Both forces are equal. So we can say that these forces are action-reaction pair. Now we will learn differences between mass and weight. Guess your weight. Is it 40 kg or 40 kg? F is not 40 kg. 40 kg is your mass. Weight is 400 Newton. So what is weight? Weight is a force exerted by Earth on any object. Weight of any object is force acting on that object due to gravity nearby Earth's surface, right? Weighing machine will give you reading 40 kg weight, not 40 kg, because kg is unit of mass. So what is main difference between mass and weight? Mass is the amount of matter contained in a body, and weight is a force, is amount of matter contained in a body. But weight is a force experienced due to gravity, right? So if you talk about new units of weight and mass, another difference is wherever you go on the Earth or on any other planet, your mass will remain same, but your weight will be different. Your weight depends on acceleration due to gravity on that planet, right? So mass is a constant quantity and weight can vary from one place to another place. Is mass is a scalar quantity and weight is a vector quantity, because weight is a force and we all know that force is a vector quantity. About free fall, and we will also solve some numerical based on free fall. So what is free fall? If any object move under the effect of gravity, then its motion is called free fall. So if you drop any object having mass m from some height h, then this mass will take some time to strike the ground. It would have some velocity when it strikes the ground, and all these quantity we will determine four equations, which is based on free fall with the help of four equations which you must have learned in motion chapter, right? So first equation is v equal to u plus at. So first equation is v equal to u plus at, and second one is s equal to ut plus half at square. Third equation is v square equal to u square plus 2as, and last equation is s nth equal to can you remember that formula? S nth equal to u plus half a 2n minus 1. Here s nth is distance traveled in nth second. What is difference between these two terms? S, by using this formula, you can find displacement covered by any object in last second, nth second. Suppose you want to, we will use these four formulas to solve numericals. So in place of S, we will use height, right? Height from the surface of the ground. And in place of u, you all know u is initial velocity, v is final velocity. And in place of a, we will write here acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.8 meter per second square. And sometimes for ease of calculation, we will take this value as 10 meter per second square. So let's take simple example based on free fall. So if you drop any object from 10 meter height, can you guess how much time it will take to strike the ground, and with what velocity it will strike the ground? So to find how much time it will take, you have to use this formula s equal to ut plus half at square. This object is dropped from some height, then its initial velocity will be equal to 0, and height is given 10. So 10 equal to, this term will become 0 plus half, and in place of acceleration we will use 10, acceleration due to gravity, and t is unknown. So let's say it t square. So if you solve it, you will get 20 equal to 10 t square. So you are getting answer t equal to root 2 second. So it will take root 2 second to strike the ground. In same problem, you have to find with what velocity this object will strike the ground. So to find final velocity, you have to use this formula v equal to u plus at. So here final velocity will become v equal to u is 0, because this object is dropped from some height, and it, in case of dropping, its initial velocity is taken as 0. So a, let's take its value 10 and t equal to root 2. So we can say that it will strike the ground. We can say that it will strike the ground with velocity v equal to 10 root 2 meter per second, right? So in which you have to find maximum height attained by this object, which is thrown vertically upward with velocity 10 meter per second. So to find maximum height attained by this block, you have to use this formula v square equal to u square plus 2as. So final at maximum height, its final velocity will become 0. So 0 equal to initial velocity is 10 square plus 2, and acceleration due to gravity is 10. So we will take here minus 10, because this object is moving upward and g is acting downward. So we have taken it as negative, and s is unknown here. We have to find this maximum height. So student, in same problem, can you guess how much time this object will take to attain this maximum height? To find time, you have to use this formula v equal to u plus at. So at maximum height, v is 0 and u is given 10, is negative minus 10, and t is unknown. So here you can see clearly that you will get t equal to 1 second. 1 second. So time taken by this block to attain maximum height is 1 second. So students, let's try to solve this numerical. You have to find time taken by this apple to fall on the ground. So how much time this apple will take to strike the ground? So to find time taken here, t is unknown and height of this apple from ground is given, height equal to 20 meter, and you have to find this apple to strike the ground meter. So if you use formula s equal to ut plus half at square, then you have to write here s equal to 20 and you have to take u 0. In this case, initial velocity of apple is 0 because it is dropped from some height. So u is, and this formula s equal to ut plus half at square, you have to put this u equal to 0 and height as 20 meter and take g equal to 10. Why I have taken here plus 10 not minus 10? Because this height and g, this is displacement is downward and we have taken downward as positive. So this is downward, displacement is downward and we have taken downward direction positive. So this 10 will also be positive. So if you solve this expression, you will get, this will become 5. So you will get 20 by 5 equal to t square. 20 t equal to 4, that means 2 seconds. So it will take 2 seconds to strike the ground. Is it clear? That's all for today. Please practice some question and revise what all we have learned today. Friends, Radhe Radhe.